Okay, well, you obviously enjoyed that. Thank you very much. And we're going to be talking for about 20 minutes. I will be asking the questions, and then after that, I would like you to think of some questions to ask. I'm sure you will have some. But I'm going to start with a very obvious one, which is how did the idea come about for this film? What was the genesis of it for you?
یک سوال تکراری ولی سخته. چون واقعا نمیدونم یه ایده کی شکل میگیره.
It's a question that has been asked before, and it's really hard because I really don't know how an idea is formed.
در مورد این قصه میتونم بگم دیدن ممکنه این قصه شکل گرفته باشه وقتی که من سوار ماشین بودم تو ترافیک تو تهران.
It's possible that this story has formed when I was in the car in the traffic in Tehran.
و چهره مردمایی رو که هر کدوم دارن تلاش میکنن که بخشی از رنج زندگیشون رو سامان بدن بهش یا برطرف کنن.
And when I look at the people's faces when I'm passing with my car, and I can see a struggle in their face to deal with a certain part of their life.
با چهره‌های اونا قصه میسازم.
And with their faces I make a story.
و اونجا بود که من دنبال یک قهرمان میگشتم که با قهرمان‌هایی که تا حالا دیدم فرق کنه.
And there I was looking for a hero that was different from the other heroes.
کسی باشه که نگران این که دیگران راجبش چه قضاوت میکنن نباشه.
To be someone, I wanted the hero to be someone who does not care about how people judge him.
و بدون توقع و بدون چشم داشت کمک کنه.
And to, without expecting anything or having an eye on something, wanting to help someone.
و بدون هیچ سوالی.
And without asking any questions.
So you have an intention or a purpose for the film, but there's also how are you going to express it? So which is more important to you, the intention or the form of?
Good question. در واقع دو دسته از فیلمسازا میتونن به این سوال جواب بدن.
There are two types of filmmakers that can answer this question.
دسته اول که خیلی جمعیت زیادی دارن.
The first type that has a big audience.
آره اونا کسایی هستن که بلدن اندیشه خودشون رو و فکر خودشون رو با زبان سینما بیان کنن.
Those are the ones that can express their thoughts with the language of cinema.
اونا اگه ازشون بپرسی بهتون میگن که فرم اول به ذهنم اومد یا مثلا محتوا.
If you ask them, they can tell you whether it was the form or the contents or intention.
خیلی بخش کوچکی از فیلمسازا هستن.
But there's a smaller part of the movie makers
که نه تنها به زبان سینما صحبت میکنن.
That not only speak in the language of cinema.
بلکه به زبان سینما فکر میکنن.
But also think in the language of cinema.
اونها نمیتونن این دوتا رو از هم جدا کنن.
They cannot take these two apart.
چون وقتی یک فکر میاد سراغشون با همه مختصات سینماییش پیدا میشه.
Because when an idea comes to mind, it comes to mind with all its cinematic aspects.
البته من هنوز جزو اون فیلمسازا نیستم.
But I'm not yet part of those movie makers.
Well, form and content are very close in your film.
Yeah.
خیلی به هم نزدیکم.
And the problem that he had to deal with, how did the idea for that come about? The idea of this woman, this damsel in distress, woman in distress in a way.
این در واقع موقعیتی بود که من توی دور و برم میدیدم.
This was something that I saw in my surroundings.
و دوست داشتم در مقابل این شخصیت که در واقع براش مهم نیست دیگران راجبش چی قضاوت میکنن.
And in front of this person who wouldn't care about how people would judge him.
زنی رو بذارم که خیلی براش مهمه که دیگران راجبش چی فکر میکنن.
To put a woman who is exactly opposite, who really cares about what other people think about her,
چون نگران قضاوتیه که دیگران راجبش میکنن.
because she's worried about how others will judge her.
این کنتراست برام قشنگ بود.
I thought this contrast is interesting.
She seems very frightened as well as worried about her honour. Is she frightened because of suffering violence from men? Is the film partly for you about male violence towards women?
خیلی به غرورش میترسه که این غرور شکسته شه. آیا این راجب به خاطر ترسش از مرداست، از اینکه آیا این موضوع کتک یا سوء استفاده مرد از زن برای شما مهم بوده تو این؟
برای من در اون لحظه این مهم بود که یه نفر به پناه و کمک احتیاج داره.
For me it was important, especially that at that moment somebody is in need of help.
برای اینکه بتونه بچه‌شو به دنیا بیاره.
To give birth.
ولی اینکه قصهش دقیقاً چی بوده، قصه قبلیش چی بوده و چه سرگذشتی داشته، فقط نشانه‌هایی ازش گذاشتم.
But I've only given hints of the previous story of what has happened until then.
فقط نشانه‌هایی ازش گذاشتم.
Only few hints.
و میدونیم که کتک خورده.
We know that she's been beaten.
میدونیم که از یه چیزی میترسه.
We know she's afraid of something.
میدونیم که وقتی دستشو میگیرن نگران میشه.
We know that when we hold her hand she becomes nervous.
از نور میترسه.
She's scared of light.
و خیلی نگران سلامتی بچه‌شه.
And she is very concerned about the health of her child.
ولی وقتی حرف میزنه قصه ای رو تعریف میکنه که انگار هیچ اتفاقی نیفتاده.
But when she's talking, she's telling a story that suggests nothing is wrong.
این شاید اشاره داره به آسیب پذیری بخشی از جامعه که خیلی راحت راجبشون میشه قضاوت کرد.
Maybe this is a hint towards how resistant a part of society is that is really easy to, how fragile a part of society is that is easy.
I'm really interested in the way your hero, the strong, silent hero who never really lets on too much about his life, comes into conflict or into an encounter with the supervisor of the hospital, who seems in many ways to understand him in a way that the other characters don't, but is very, very different. Could you talk a little bit about that?
برایشون جالبه که بدونن وقتی که این هیروی فیلم با سوپروایزر و میسته اینا چطور که فرق میکنه این شخص با شخصی دیگه تو فیلم و یکم اینو میفهمه و این رابطه اینا.
در واقع سوپروایزر فیلم نمایندگی میکنه یک نگاه رو که در مقابل نگاه شخصیت اصلی فیلم من قرار میگیره.
منظورتون دقیقاً چیه؟
ببین سوپروایزر من یک نگاهی داره، این سوپروایزر نگاهی داره که نمایندگی میکنه، یعنی در واقع داره یک نگاهی داره که نگاهش در مقابل نگاه شخصیت اصلی فیلم منه.
یعنی دیدشون به فرق میکنه. The view of the supervisor is opposing the view of the main character of the film.
دو جور نگاهه.
There are two types of views.
یه نگاه قانونگرا.
One from a juristic kind of way from the law.
که وظایف و وظایف شهروندها رو کاملا دقیق مشخص میکنه و اجازه نمیده کسی کار دیگری رو انجام بده.
Which very strictly gives the borders of what citizens can do and does not allow anything out of those restrictions.
و نگاه دیگه‌ای که وجدانگراست.
And the other view is more about consciousness.
و بیش از اون چیزی که در واقع تکلیف داره و تعهد اجتماعیشه حاضر کار کنه برای دیگران.
So to go beyond what her duties are, to go beyond that to do something for others.
تقابل این دوتا برام جالب بود.
And the تقابل یعنی
مقابله کردن
To confront
challenge
these two
conflict.
things with each other, yeah, was interesting for.
It's a film which makes a hero of somebody who actually does break the law. Really, he adjusts the law for his own moral sense of right and wrong. Was there any problem in getting this film made for you? Because we know that in Iran there are certain strict restrictions that are sometimes applied to films, and I wondered if you had any problems making this film. Where did they say, no, you can't do this or you can't do that?
به خاطر اینکه این هیروی این فیلم قانون رو میشکنه که هیرو بتونه باشه، آیا این برای شما مشکلی به وجود آورده بود در ایران برای ساختن این فیلم؟
برای ساختنش مشکلی وجود نیاورده بود، ولی خب بعد از اینکه نمایش داده شد نگاه‌های مختلفی بودن که فیلم رو نقد می‌کردن از همین زاویه.
The production went without problems in this way, but after showing the movie, there were certain people who were judging it from that point of view.
خیلی دوست داشتن که بیشتر بدونن راجع به هویت این زن.
هویت یعنی دقیقاً
identity دیگه.
So there were a lot of people who wanted to know more of the identity of this woman than was shown.
من در جواب بهشون میگفتم یعنی شما دارید مسیری رو میرید که فیلم نمیخواد بره. فیلم میگه که قضاوت نکنید و شما دوست دارید بیشتر بدونید تا باز بیشتر قضاوت کنید.
So I told them that you are doing exactly what I'm trying to say with this movie, is to don't try to figure out things that you can have a judgment about, which is exactly one of the themes in this movie.
این روحیه کنجکاوی و اینکه من به تو کمک میکنم در صورتی که بدونم تو کی هستی، دقیقاً رفتاریه که فیلم میخواد نقد کنه.
نقد یعنی منفی. So exactly that thing, the curiosity about I'm only going, who are you? Then I'm going to decide whether I'm going to help you or not. This is exactly the thing that is pointed out in this movie as something that's not correct.
و طبیعیه که خیلی مخالفش بودن.
And obviously a lot of people did not agree with this.
It's basically, I think in many ways, a very humanist film, because it admits the whole film is marked by an ambivalence. It refuses to draw black and white conclusions about people and about actions. Would you agree with that?
دقیقاً.
Exactly.
یک امانوئل لویناس، فیلسوف فرانسوی، یه فیلسوفیه که خیلی خشونت گریزه. اون یه تحلیل خوب داره که الان میگم، اینو ترجمه کن.
خشونت گریز یعنی ضد خشونت.
ضد خشونت. امانوئل لویناس.
Emmanuel Levinas is a philosopher, a French philosopher who is really opposed against violence.
حالا دقیقاً نه اینی که گفتم، ولی
not exactly what I said.
آره، ببین چیزی که میگه لویناس اینه که اگر تفاوت‌های طرف مقابل رو به رسمیت نشناسیم و دوست داشته باشیم که او رو همسان خودمون بکنیم، اتفاق خوبی نمیفته بین ما و این زمینه خشونت رو فراهم میکنه. سخت شد؟
یه بار دیگه لطفاً تکرار کنیم.
میگه وقتی میتونیم تفاهم داشته باشیم که تفاوت‌های همدیگر رو به رسمیت بشناسیم.
We can have an agreement, he says, the philosopher, if we can accept our differences.
و نخواهیم همدیگر رو شبیه هم بکنیم.
Instead of wanting to make the other person the same.
و این احترام گذاشتن به تفاوت‌ها، احترام گذاشتن به رازهای افراد هم هست.
And that means that being احترام میشد چی به انگلیسی؟ To respect, thank you, Adi. To respect these differences, it does also mean respecting the secrets of other people.
اینجا به یه واژه خوب میرسیم به اسم گمنامی.
Here we come to a term that's called not having being anonymous.
یعنی که برای من مهم نیست که تو کی هستی.
It means it doesn't matter to me who you are.
تو قابل احترامی چون انسانی.
You're respectable because you're a human being.
Exactly. And it's interesting that Levinas is a philosopher who is much admired by the Dardenne brothers and who also make films which are full of ambivalence and judge people as individual human beings. They too have won prizes, and this film actually it's the third of Reza's film to be nominated by Iran for an Oscar. And I wonder how you feel about the fact that this film, which is quite controversial, was nominated for an Oscar. Was that a surprise to you? Does it?
اولش گفتش که برادرای داردن هم از این فلسفه دارن
داردن ها دقیقاً از روی لویناس کار میکنن
ولی سوال اصلی این بود که این به خاطر اینکه سومین فیلمیه که از ایران که نومینه شده برای اسکار و شما چه احساسی راجع به این چه نظر؟
طبعا خوشحال شدم از اینکه فیلم انتخاب شد، یعنی به عنوان نماینده ایران انتخاب شد برای معرفی به اسکار.
First of all, I was happy that the film was nominated for an Oscar.
ولی برای همه کشور هر کشوری یه فیلم انتخاب میکنه، این خیلی اتفاق بزرگی نیست.
یعنی خود ایران انتخاب.
همه کشورها هر کدوم یه فیلم معرفی میکنن برای اسکار.
But every country picks one of their films to be nominated for an Oscar, so that wasn't too special necessarily.
Yeah, but this is your third.
Yeah, this is my third.
And it is a film which deals with abortion and male violence and possibly inflexible rules being applied to people who are in distress. So it's...
One second, please. برای اینکه فیلمی که هم راجع به abortion هم راجع به خشونت مردا. And the third thing you named was, you said abortion...
And rules being applied inflexibly to people.
The قوانینی که نمیتونن تغییر کنن، قوانین سخت.
And it perhaps seems that a film which certainly might divide audiences in Iran, and we talk about that in a minute. It seems strange that would be nominated for an Oscar.
برای اینکه فیلمی که مردم تو ایران از همجور
من فکر میکنم به خاطر اینه که فیلم یک ماهیت انسانی و اخلاق‌گرا داره.
ماهیت یعنی چی؟
جوهر ماهیت
انسانی و اخلاق‌گرا. It's because it's a film about that is colored by something.
Colored?
نه ماهیت یعنی منظور.
اینتنتش بکن حالا.
It has an intention to point out facts about humanity and about the nature of behavior.
و شاید این براشون جذاب بوده.
And this was maybe interesting for them.
و البته من اعتراض نکردم.
And I didn't complain.
And how has the film? I believe the film is opened in Iran. How was it received there?
چجوری تو ایران این فیلم گرفت؟
فیلم تابستون اکران شد تو ایران و خوشبختانه جزو فیلم‌های پرفروش امسال بود.
It was screened during summer for the first time. It's one of the better, good-selling films in
تو ژانر خودش البته.
Within its genre.
And was there any controversy? Did people generally like it, or were people saying no, this is a bad film?
مردم اصولا خوششون اومده بود یا گروهایی که میگفتن خوشمون نمیاد؟
من آمار ندارم ولی وقتی فیلم فروش میکنه احتمالا مردم خوششون اومده.
I don't have the exact statistics, but when a film is selling good, apparently people like it.
That's good. Do you see yourself? I mean, this film is very much about moral questions and possibly a society trying to struggle with certain questions. And should you act within the law, or should you follow your own intuition and your own conscience? Do you see yourself as not necessarily a political filmmaker, but as someone who wants to deal with social and moral issues?
برای اینکه فیلم از یه نظر نگاه میکنه که آیا من یک شخص باید از چی میگن مورالیتی اخلاق انسانیت عمل کنه یا باید قوانین رو دنبال کنه. آیا شما خودتون بخاطر که این موضوع مهم تو فیلم شما خودتون رو به عنوان یک فیلمساز سیاسی میشناسید؟
آره موضوعات اجتماعی الان کاملا متصلن به مسائل سیاسی.
All social issues, all social things in Iran are connected to political issues.
من ایران نگفتم.
Oh, in general. Sorry. Not in Iran necessarily. It's true.
و حتما همینطوری که دارید میگید. الان ذهنم پرید بعد ترجمه کردی دیگه. چی گفتم من؟
گفتین که به خاطر اینکه کلاً همیشه مشکل این چیز موضوع جامعه
سوال چی بود؟
So can you repeat the question one more time?
Sorry.
Do you see yourself as somebody particularly interested in moral and social issues?
ببین آره از این جهت واقعا یک پیشنهاد اجتماعیه که میتونه در واقع پاسخی باشه به یک هیجان سیاسی کاذب در واقع اشتباه.
This can be an answer, a social answer to political wrongdoings.
به خاطر اینکه ما تو فضایی هستیم که دوست داریم سهم خودمون رو در مشکلات به رسمیت نشناسیم. همش دوست داریم دیگران رو مقصر کنیم.
Because we're in a position that we never really want to take our own responsibility for the things that are going wrong, but always try to put the blame on others.
همیشه وقتی دیگران رو مقصر میکنیم به یه سهمی هم میخوایم خودمون رو محق نشون بدیم.
Whenever we're blaming someone else, we're trying to say that there is something that belongs to us because of that.
اینطوری هیچی درست نمیشه.
And in this way, nothing will get better.
چون هیچ کس اون قدم اول رو ور نمیداره.
Because nobody takes that first step to take responsibility.
Do you think that film can change things for the better? Do you think that film can be an instrument of moral and social improvement?
آیا میتونه فیلم به نظر شما دنیا رو بهتر کنه و هم از نظر اخلاق هم از نظر جامعه دنیا رو بهتر کنه؟
به تنهایی که نه.
Not on its own, not alone.
ولی هیچ رفتاری گم نمیشه.
But گم نمیشه منظورتون؟
Lost گم نمیشه.
No behavior gets lost.
هر چقدر کوچیک باشه.
Even if it's a very small thing that you do.
من مطمئنم حتی کسایی که فیلمو دوست نداشتن تو ایران به این مرد و این مقاومتی که کرد در کمک انسانیش فکر کردن.
And I'm sure that even if people that did not agree with the message of the movie, they all یه بار دیگه
not message of movie اونایی که مخالف فیلم بودن
who were against the movie
اونایی که مخالف فیلم بودن حداقل به این مرد و اینکه مقاومت کرد برای اینکه کسی رو نجات بده فکر کردن.
Even the opponents of the movie thought about this man who was
مقاومت کرد برای کمک کردن به دیگران.
Who was showing resistance to be able to help others. They thought about him.
و این حتما کمک میکنه برای اینکه یک فضای عمومی خوب ایجاد بشه.
And this will help to create a better social atmosphere.
He takes responsibility.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't have to, he takes responsibility. Yeah. Okay, now, is anybody prepared to come and ask a question from the mic? Well, there's somebody up there. I think, Could you come possibly down to this mic and please other people follow if you have questions.
Hello.
Wow.
I wondered what would be so typically Iranian about the movie, because I found it very universal. There were a lot of universal, shortcomings, and the phenomenon you're portraying is all over the world. And I was wondering what would be the typically Iranian twist to this conflict.
میپرسه که این فیلم چه بخشیش واقعا تیپیکال برای ایران هست، برای اینکه این چیزایی که نشون میدین خیلی به کل دنیا ربط دارن، کدوم بخشش واقعا ایرانیه؟
ببین حرفها مشترکن، ولی موقعیت ها و جغرافیای قصه است که تغییر میکنه.
The messages are shared by universally shared, but the geographical positions determine certain things.
شاید بعضی از نکات فیلم برای جامعه ایرانی بیشتر مشخص باشه.
Maybe some parts of the movie are more specifically understandable by Iranian society.
مثلا مردی که در جنگ مجروح شده.
مجروح یعنی
wounded.
For example, a man that has been wounded during war.
این قصه‌ای که ما تو ایران داشتیم.
This is the story that we've had in Iran.
و با خودش یک معنا میاره.
And it brings a meaning with itself.
یا زنی که نگران آبروشه.
Or a woman who is afraid of her appearance, her social appearance. Honor.
ولی قبول دارم که بحث در واقع موضوع اخلاق و انسانیت خیلی مشترکه.
But I agree that the whole message about humanism is shared by, universally shared.
Yes. Anybody else like to come down and ask a question? Is it possible to come down, please?
Could I ask one more?
Yes,
please. Well, please.
Yeah, please.
You can come. I was wondering, why is the females and the nurses in the film tend to see the good thing about the man more than the male nurses in the film? Is there a reason to it?
چرا پرستارای زن فیلم راجع به این مرد مثبت‌تر فکر می‌کنه تا مردایی که توی فیلم؟
خب من به این توجه نکرده بودم.
I wasn't paying attention to this.
Would you like to come down? I think it's because women are nicer.
I was wondering, what does the title? What does the title signify for you? And is it the same in English as in Arabic?
Farsi.
Persian.
No. Sorry?
It's not Arabic, it's Persian.
Persian. Excuse me. My bad.
اسم فیلم آیا در زبان انگلیسی و فارسی مساویه و معنیش چیه؟
اسم فیلم که معنیش معلومه امروز، ولی من در واقع میخواستم یک رابطه بین اسم فیلم و تم فیلم وجود داشته باشه.
تم یعنی موضوع.
تیم.
Of course the name is obvious it's today, but I wanted to have a relation between the name of the film and the theme of the film.
تیم داره میگه که گذشته رو فراموش کن.
The theme says forget the past.
و امروز کاری که میتونی رو انجام بده.
And do what you can do today.
و اصلا نگران فردا نباش.
And don't worry about tomorrow.
که عواقب کاری که میکنی چیه.
What the consequences are of what you're doing.
و فکر کردم اسم امروز خوبه براش.
That's why I thought the name today was suitable.
It's also interesting that in a way, the film shows that history could repeat itself because the woman herself has had a bad time. And you're sort of saying, let history not repeat itself.
گذشته میتونه خودش رو دوباره تکرار کنه، برای اینکه زن یه زمان بدی داشته و شما میگین نذارین گذشته خودش رو تکرار کنه.
دقیقاً.
Exactly.
At which point, I'm afraid today is beginning to run out and we are going to have to tie it up. But in the meantime, would you please thank Reza Mirkarimi and Navid for translating.
Thank you.